Inside, you see a set of steering levers,
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back, in the suspect transport enclosure.
transport enclosure. Regular people just call it the cage.
Look in the suspect transport enclosure.
The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubcaps are stacked against the seat. Their silver edges sparkle in the dark.
I confiscated these for a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal.
Is that going to be open now? What are those things?
There are spinner hubcaps, frivolous things you put on your wheels. When the wheels come to a stop, the caps keep on spinning. There's no real use for them, it's just for vanity.
Honestly, that sounds like an amazing physics demonstration.
What do you mean you confiscated them?
A couple of weeks ago, I stopped a young man for going slower than the speed of traffic. Turns out he was some coalition official's son and high.
So you took his spinners?
Mm-hmm. I took them and arrested him for driving under the influence.
I get it. If I would have confiscated them too, then mesmerized.
That they are. I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. He never asked for them back.
Did you want to put these spinners on your machine?
No, that would be silly. I don't know why I kept them. It doesn't matter. I couldn't put them on this MC anyway. A cup with spinners. That would be outrageous.
Yeah, outrageously cool.
He flashes a smile, barely visible in the dark.
I'm sorry you have to sell them because of me. It's only right that we sell them. Say nothing.
The spinners shine so bright they reflect on the lieutenant's glasses. He doesn't say anything either.
You said something about a pawn shop.
Yes, there's one 100 meters south of here. I think it's called Roy's Nest or something. If I'm not mistaken, it should be open late.
Items that can be pawned at Bird's Nest Roy's appear in your inventory under the Items tab. You can pawn these items when talking to Roy.
Okay, so maybe they don't have any other use for other than being pawned. Okay. Let's see. Let's say, sorry, I can't take them, it wouldn't be right.
Alright, let's not take them now. Then, come back once we realize we have to. Have this conversation again, and then take them.
Alright, he's perceptive.
Sounds likely.
Alright. Fuel preheater gauge?
As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled. It's in the large orange sector, indicating the engine is warm. Next to the gauge is a red switch labeled heat.
Now, that's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know they are mesmerizing. They're also fragile. I'm not going to turn it on for you again.
Alright, let's take the spinners.
Okay.
I confiscated this for...
The lieutenant nods as you take the spinners.
Close the door. Alright, so we got some spinners. Yeah, it does seem like these just are for being pawned because I can't interact. Well, actually, no, because this die was supposed to help with something, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. 200 real, the magnificent hubcap spinners that Lieutenant Kitsuragi has donated to you so that you can pay for your room at the Whirling. They are slate blue and shimmer haughtily in light. Alright, well, let's go south. Check a few things along the way, I guess. Some great tectonic forces crack the pavement like an eggshell. An ancient fountain doesn't pour water anymore, there's a tree in it. Fire tracks leading onto the roof. The slush and rain has almost washed them off. Oh wow, that's going really far. Okay. The coin-operated view has been banged up inoperable. Alright, so we were heading towards the south is what we want to do. So... okay. Hello? Plastic wrapped macaronis stamped with humanitarian aid. This says humanitarian aid tuna fish, not for resale. It says speakers from the people of Samara. It says food gift from the people of Messina. A helpline to the company that controls the drawbridge. Another trash container. Fingerless gloves. What do fingerless gloves let us? +1 electrochemistry, cigarette-stained fingertips. Well, at the moment, we've got what? +1 interfacing? Interfacing is better than electrochemistry, I think. Unless it stops the intrusive thoughts. Waterlock out of order until Wednesday at 7:15 AM.
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque. This panel usually closes the waterlock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything.
Pull the lever up.
You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then, nothing happens.
Alright, release the lever.
The spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the waterlock to get across the canal. Some other way. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
There was. Alright, is this Roy's pawn shop? Doesn't look like a pawn shop. Oh, it is. Fast cash for faster times. I suppose the developers of the game probably knew that you wouldn't get 130 real to be able to pay for the room, so they put the pawn shop fairly close to where you start. Some kind of machine, an antique cash register? A bust of a woman, the plaque simply says DEI. In the dark, a film projector is whirring away. Most military wear with a few more eccentric fashions thrown in.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Let your gaze run over the streetlight.
The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently. This would make quite a statement in your living room.
Is that a streetlight?
Yes, officer. As you see, it's in perfect working order.
His manner is casual, but his speech is careful, measured. He wants you to know that he has nothing to hide.
Where did you get this?
It was brought to me to be altered.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property.
He leans in so the pawnbroker doesn't hear him.
You'll have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
He pauses, studying the light. How much for the streetlight?
700 real. A bargain, I dare say.
Are you out of your mind? There's one just like that on every corner. Even taking into account the risk of obtaining the light, that seems a bit steep. 700 sounds about right. I can't imagine it was easy sawing off that street lamp. Even taking into account the risk of it, it seems a bit steep.
There's also the matter of rewiring. But the most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago.
So, 700 real. There's nothing else I need to know about the light.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back.
So, we can win her back, inspect the knights on horseback, inspect the blue uniforms, inspect the figurines and rags, dig up a truly cool figurine in the box under the table. Right, win her back?
Yes. Buy something nice. A figurine. This sounds off. You shouldn't trust this guy.
Yeah, don't trust Inland Empire. Alright, let's dig out the cool figurine.
Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say foul.
What is this? Go to the shop.
Oh, that's the Headless Phone Rider.
Who?
The Headless Phone Rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of Revachol sporting a fawn tracksuit. As you see, he's missing his head.
He points at the decapitated figurine.
50 cents. Bargain price. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations.
Sure, why not?
Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
Alright. Inspect the knights on horseback.
Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
Who are they?
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about these guys.
Like the blue uniforms.
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
Are these royalist soldiers?
Which ones? Ah, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but children like the bright colours indiscriminately.
Inspect the figurines in rags.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks.
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers, revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win.
It's meant to give people hope, even we can do it. The contrast is meant to be disheartening, as it ought to be. It is impossible to win against the cohorts of capital, ask my friend Gart, whose bitch it made me. I wish it was more nuanced. As it stands, I cannot comment. It's meant to give people hope that even we can do it.
Maybe.
Step away from the table. Right, up here?
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels.
Stand on the tiptoes to see more.
One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite.
Golden orange.
Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Shopkeep, the Stereo 8 approved machine here. What I really want to know, could this device come in handy in my police work? Are you sure this is all in working order? Alright, yeah, let's make sure it works.
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres, even though I don't really like music.
Alright, this machine here.
It's the Harman Welsh W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul, plays all reel-to-reel formats. 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real.
What I really want to know is, could it help in my police work?
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
Alright, let's buy the boombox.
And here you are. Quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play anything, wherever. Turn any tape into a conversation of sounds and shapes.
Cool. Alright. Let's have a look at our inventory just before we do anything else. So this is the reel-to-reel boombox of everyone's youth, a little banged up, a little chipped, and honestly not that loud either. Looks cool though, excels at being carried on the shoulder, allowing you to play audio tape items and blast music into the face of unsuspecting strangers. Okay, so does it get equipped in left or right? Yes, equipped in the right. Okay. So what did the boombox actually give me? Did it give me anything? So +1 to Inland Empire. Okay, yes, I think. I can't tell. Anyway, there was also another one actually. So items, the figurine. So the figurine. This plastic headless fawn rider sits atop his equally plastic bull, his posture indicating either desperation or pride. Comes as a set with the infamous fawn cap for which he lost his head. The head is not included. Okay, before we do anything else, the Close the water lock on Wednesday is the last task. Advanced race theory is going to take another hour to be internalized. We'll make a quick save. And then we will talk to Roy.
If you don't mind, please put the flashlight away. Some of us have photonic sensitivities.
Okay.
Photonic sensitivity is not generally acknowledged by the medical establishment.
Right, but we want him to be... We want to help him out, so... Alright, sorry about that.
I do appreciate it.
So does it automatically unequip it? No. Okay, so I need to unequip it myself. So, unequip.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop.
The man at the counter turns to you slowly.
What can I do for you?
Sorry, I feel like I'm interrupting you. It's shameful how insufficient the police presence in these parts. Now that the RCM is here, tell me, have you had any trouble lately? It is shameful how insufficient the police presence is in these parts.
I haven't had any problems myself, though some of my customers have complained about inconsistent law enforcement.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
Quite the collection, I may have something to add to it. Typical vacuous consumerist objects. Honestly, I think some of your selections are more tasteful than others. This business plan is all over the place. You should specialize, zoom in, and recapitalize. Some selections are more tasteful than others.
It keeps me entertained.
He responds, unimpressed with your snobbery.
He's well composed, but underneath it you sense psychedelic processes bubbling. Some kind of drug, maybe.
Electrochemistry. So... Challenging 12, composure notice psychedelics. This boombox I bought, it should play this tape, right?
Of course. It's in working order still, isn't it? Just pick your tape and set it spinning. It all starts with the tape.
You might be able to aid our investigation.
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
Know anything about the recent hanging?
I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business. Bad for everyone.
Think you can help me get a corpse out of a tree?
The corpse behind the hostel, I assume. I don't have a truck with a mounted platform or anything of that sort myself. Ask around the harbour. There might be some workers there who'd be willing to help.
Actually, that's all I've got.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colours.
By the way, do you happen to have any guns like the ones carried by officers of the Citizens Militia?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
So I pawned it for money.
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh God. The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
Wait, I sold you my gun?
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind.
Was the buyer policeman too?
She didn't seem like a policeman. Although she kept referring to herself as a pig. Which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive. But I was just happy to get rid of it. And of her.
Female police officer.
Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the Citizens Militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
There's only one explanation. She must be one of my rabid fans. Maybe she's a vigilante, wants to prove she can do our jobs better than we can. I don't like it either. What if she intends to commit a crime, blame it on the Citizen Militia? I'm sorry I sold my gun. Maybe she's a vigilante.
It's possible in these parts of town. We ought to find her and discourage her from taking justice into her own hands.
He looks around, worried. Any idea where I can find this buyer?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
Alright, at least now I know how I lost my sidearm. Let's talk about something else.
Of course.
Okay, well, there's something I'd like to sell.
Yes, we'd like to sell these hubcaps.
The lieutenant steps in and hands him the spinners.
Roy takes the hubcaps from the lieutenant and inspects them. The spinners appear iridescent in the dancing light of his pawn shop, gone forever.
Yes, these are very, very good. Did you defraud some foreign prince for them? Jump a mesk banger? No matter. I'll give you 200 real.
Okay, so the value that the game tells us an item is worth is what he will give for them.
No one was defrauded or jumped, I assure you.
The lieutenant explains as the pawnbroker opens the register and counts the cash.
Of course. I meant no offense. 200 real for you, officer. Delightful doing business with you. Do come again.
Thank you.
He takes the cash, then turns to
Here's the
you.
130 real you need for your bill. Do not waste it.
The rest goes in his pocket. I was kind of hoping that he would give the 200 to me. But no, we only get 130.
The rest is for him, to compensate for the pain of being separated from his radiant spinners.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
I have a fascinating photo of a corpse here.
Oh, no. I don't like those kinds of objects. No sale.
Do you know what the tattoo means?
Aphotic paths, counter-radiance networks, anti-magnetism. It's darkness. That's all I know. Sell me something lighter.
You have absolutely no idea what aphotic paths are, but the tattoos on the man are not that.
Okay, I'd like to sell my clothes.
I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment.
Okay, I'll check my pockets.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
So, I can just go ahead and pawn some of these things off. Well, I do have a few things that are probably worth selling, like this one, the shot put ball. The game tells me not to sell it, so I will do that. This one is a useless gun, so I can just sell that. The die, well, the thing is, I'm not getting a lot of money for these things anyway, so it's literally just the gun or the shot put. So let's leave it be. I don't have anything to sell.
Another time, perhaps.
Alright, last thing. White check, is Roy high?
Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard, he's probably on Perolidon. It's tough to come by on the street.
Hold on, what's that?
A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
Is it just me, or is it really warm in here?
I try to keep the shop at a comfortable temperature.
It's pretty obvious that you're under the influence, sir. No judgment, just curious. I probably did loads of Perolidon before I lost my memory. Chill out, man. I'm a chill out cop who just wants some of what you're having. I didn't mean to offend you. Drop the subject, you don't want drugs. Let's say no judgment.
I've had to take it. You know, since the People's Pile cleanup. I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade.
He's taken for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
The People's Pile? What's that?
Bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. Probably some of it in you too.
Yeah.
The People's Pile was a Type U particle decay generator that failed immediately after entering service, releasing radioactive waste into River Esperance.
What is a particle decay
A
generator?
primitive nuclear reactor, also called a pile.
Why is it called the People's Pile?
Construction began during the Commune of Revachol. The people continued work on it after the Commune fell. They wanted a cheap source of energy for Revachol West. Needless to say, things didn't work out.
Why did it fail?
An emergency valve defect resulted in steam pressure blowing the turbine, taking the fuel containment vessel up in the explosion. Both the faulty design and lack of finances contributed to the catastrophe.
Tell me more about the emergency relief brigade you were part of.
We were an all-volunteer force, self-organised, tried to help the fire brigades contain the spill.
On the patch, gamma radiation lines crossed with a red drop of blood. Tough son of a gun, this one. Respect.
I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance didn't have the art to let it all go to shit without trying to do something to help out. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. Years getting sick.
He looks at the spiraling light and stops. It must have been tough radioactive cleanup.
There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened, and why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile. So much disappointment, and early deaths. Cancer mostly. And we knew all that was coming even as we were cleaning up as best we could.
Whose fault was it that the generator failed?
No one's. Everyone's.
Sighs and shakes his head.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, that just sounds like it was going to end in tragedy. How did you end up running a pawn shop?
The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt died. Left me this shack and all the assorted junk in it. So I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far away from Forberg as I can. Still in the same city, but...
Yeah, this city must be huge if someone's had a nuclear reactor meltdown and you want to, get away from it, and yet this is as far as you're going to go. Like, a lot of people, if there was going to be a nuclear meltdown, would leave the country, never mind stay in the city.
I like the theory more than the story. Outward movement, not vortices.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
So, care to share your Pirholodon with me?
You said you'd done it before, yeah?
The lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire some of the knickknacks on display. Looks like he doesn't want to get involved. He won't be your nog, but he won't be thrilled about this either.
I think I've tried it once and liked it. I haven't, but don't worry, I can take it. I ride the Puro every day. I think I tried it once and liked it.
Here you go, man.
Presents a large cap-shaped object in the palm of his hand, very odd-looking. Thanks, man. Take the Pirholodon.
Of course.
Okay, I have other business.